Yeah, before I start into this and jump into it, the power scaling and all that, I want to give a big shout out and thanks for the fan art, in the thumbnail you witnessed and the fan art you're witnessing on the screen. A good buddy of mine, a good YouTuber, Blue Goku SSG SS4 created that. If you like what you see, go check out his channel. He has some cool animations. He has some cool content. He's getting very good at drawing, and he made this incredible fan art for this video for Tien, my boy Tien. So go check out his channel. There will be a link in the description below. Now, let's jump right into it. Hello everyone, Corn O'Keefe here, and welcome to my first power scaling video. Today, for the first episode, we have Tien, or Tien in the original Japanese. Now you see, Tien is really downplayed and underestimated in the community, and I feel like he deserves a little justice, along with everybody that I'm going to be scaling in this series. And without further ado, let's get down to it. But for starters, I will say, I will be mentioning speed, and I won't be going into specific details on how fast he necessarily is, but I will have to mention, and I will give you a general idea of how fast he possibly is. Yes, I'm mainly going to be focusing on his power and or striking strength per se. So the thing you need to remember about Tien is, Tien was thought to be a prodigy by the Crane Hermit himself. He was trained by the Crane Hermit to be an assassin. He shows his ruthlessness when he actually encounters Kid Goku for the first time, and we'll skip past that. It's not really that important, but when he actually fights Kid Goku in his first tournament with Kid Goku, he actually demonstrates his ruthlessness and stamina and endurance. As shown, he defeated Yamcha, Roshi, and Kid Goku. Now, the Roshi and Kid Goku match is a little more complex than the Yamcha one. Nonetheless, he won, and he displayed incredible amounts of endurance and stamina, and demonstrated how ruthless he really was when he broke Yamcha's leg. Now keep in mind, this is the same Yamcha who is actually stronger than he was when he launched Kid Goku through multiple stone pillars, and Tien literally was out of his league at this point in time. Now Tien obviously changes his ways. He would become a good guy, so to speak, throughout the rest of Dragon Ball. He would actually go in on the King Piccolo arc and actually manage to take hits and hold his own to an extent with one of King Piccolo's demons. Easily a large mountain level demon scaling off Roshi. Easily. That's possibly more than that, but we'll go with large mountain for now. At that point, Tien would most likely be in that range himself. Large mountain, as far as striking strength, all around power output, stuff like that. And he also demonstrates impressive stamina and endurance as well, as shown when he survived the Mafu Ba, the evil containment wave. Now, as we know, Master Roshi, and his master before him, Master Mutaito, they both died from using the Mafu Ba, showing that Tien has definitely got some high levels of endurance and stamina, to say the least. Now you see, we go to basically the last tournament of the original Dragon Ball. Tien faces off against 18-year-old Goku. Now he does lose to Goku, but he does somewhat manage to put hands on Goku and hold his own for a little bit of time. Easily at this point we can scale Tien to continent level as far as his striking strength, because Kid Goku was obviously above Demon King Piccolo, who was above Roshi, and 18-year-old Goku is actually in the guidebook confirmed to be moon level all around, and he's faster than lightning. Now, I'm not saying Tien's faster than lightning, but he is in the ranges of massively hypersonic, in the ranges of it, and his attack potency should actually be scaled to continent level at the end of the original Dragon Ball. due to an extra 3 years of training before this tournament, before he fought 18-year-old Goku. We'll skip to the Saiyan saga because he didn't really do anything. He didn't do anything at all against Raditz, but we will have to bring up Raditz eventually, momentarily, for a little bit of scaling. For right now, though, Tien trained with Kami, the guardian of the earth, right? He got strong enough to literally take down Raditz level Cybermen, okay? Now here's where we get into Raditz. You see, Raditz one-shotted a moon level Goku. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind that Raditz really is not as weak as a lot of you might think, because going off feats, statements, the Goku he one-shotted had to have been at least moon level. That's bare minimum, seeing as Goku at the end of Dragon Ball was confirmed to be moon level, and Raditz embarrassed him and Piccolo both. Speaking on Piccolo, Piccolo obliterated the moon within 4 to 5 seconds flat, relativistic to light speeds at that. And this Tien in the Saiyan saga is at least around 3 times stronger, than Piccolo when he obliterated the moon. Just keep that in mind, that he is at least 3 times stronger than moon level, meaning Tien, when he took down Raditz level Cybermen, and yes, they were stated to be Raditz level all around by Nappa and Vegeta, meaning Tien in the Saiyan saga is actually small planetary. Going off feats and scaling, he would actually be around small planetary. Now, Tien didn't do much on Namek. He wasn't even on Namek, but he was in the arc per se, the saga. It shows Tien train with King Kai, Kai Osama on King Kai's planet, and he demonstrates he can take down 2 heavy hitters of the Ginyu Force, Jeice and Birder, by himself. And if we remember correctly, Raccoon, Jeice, and Birder are all relative to one another in terms of power and striking strength, and Raccoon embarrassed Vegeta on Namek, a planet level Vegeta. And here comes Tien after King Kai's training and takes down not 1 but 2 members of the Ginyu Force, 2 of the top tier members of the Ginyu Force, meaning Jeice and Birder. That would easily put Tien at large planet level at that point. Easily. Whether or not you want to say he can destroy it, that's up to you. But Tien was taking on people who could destroy a large planet, and he took 2 of them down, as shown on King Kai's planet. Now, Tien also went in on the Cell Saga, okay? Now, something you got to keep in mind here, Tien did something that Android 16 couldn't do. And you got to keep in mind, Android 16 was actually above 17 and 18. And 18 was below 17, and 17 was above 18. And both of them could take out Super Saiyans, just normal Super Saiyans, which are scalable to star level. Going off Frieza's feats and Goku on Namek, the androids 17 and 18 would actually be able to one-shot Goku and Frieza from Namek, okay? That would definitely put them in the star ranges. Android 16 was above 17. He couldn't even make second form Cell flinch, okay? And here comes our boy Tien pushing Cell and actually putting scratches on him and pushing him in a hole for a couple of good minutes, which actually did only equal 1% of second form semi-perfect Cell's power. But that actually proves Tien using his Neo Tri-Beam after training with King Kai does make sense. That amplified Tien's power past his limitations. And he did something that Android 16, who was above 17, could not even do. And that was actually push semi-perfect cell into a hole and literally pin him down in that hole for a short period of time, nonetheless, that would literally put Tien, using his Neo Tri-Beam, star level. Star levels of force with his Neo Tri-Beam. I'm not saying Tien, his basic power at that point in striking strength is star level. I'm saying after King Kai's training using the Neo Tri-Beam technique he developed, that pushes his body limitations past their limits. It pushes his body past its limits, and yes, that would actually be star levels of force. As I said, Android 16, who could one-shot star level Super Saiyans, couldn't even make semi-perfect cell flinch, and Tien actually put scratches on him and actually put him in timeout for a couple of good minutes, folks. Scaling Tien using the Neo Tri-Beam to star levels of force. Yes, through feats, through statements, and scaling, Tien with Neo Tri-Beam in the Cell Saga, pushing back semi-perfect Cell, is actually producing star levels of force to be able to do something like that. Tien would also show up in the Buu Saga and actually take a hit from Buu tanks. Super Buu Gotenks absorbed. Now, obviously that was not full force, so that's not really a good argument. Nonetheless, he took a hit from a being that should have actually made Tien splat. Showing Tien is definitely durable, though, in his own right. Now, the thing about Tien in Dragon Ball Super is he goes in the Resurrection of F Saga, the arc, whatever you want to say, and he takes down some Frieza fighters. Now, these Frieza fighters aren't as weak as you might think, because they looked at a power level of 1,000, and they didn't think it was anything. They laughed at a power level of 1,000, meaning they were at bare minimum Raditz level fighters, and Tien was bodying multiple fighters of Frieza soldiers, you could say. He really wasn't even scathed afterwards, showing impressive stamina, and yet again that he has not stopped his training. That's another thing. In between these arcs, Tien trains with Chaozu. He actually never stops training. So he really doesn't do a lot more up until the training for the Universal Survival Arc Tournament, which he is in now. But before this, he was training, and he was basically training with Goku, Piccolo, and Gohan. You see, what happens was Gohan hit this man twice, like full on, not full force, but just Gohan rushed him, blitzed him, and hit him with some force, though. Knocked him into a large mountain. Tien should have been splattered everywhere. He took 2 heavy hits from suppressed Ultimate Gohan in Dragon Ball Super. So I won't be going into any more because he hasn't really had his moment to shine yet in the tournament, which I guarantee he is going to get stronger. So I will go on to my ending calculations as to how powerful I really think Tien is. And fast, because you see, he was easily light speed during combat in the Saiyan Saga. It just goes up from there, slowly but surely. So, at the end of the day, my final conclusion is Tien is dozens of times above light speed in Dragon Ball Super. Dozens of times. And using his Neo Tri-Beam, it would put him large star level. Now, I'll leave that up to you if you think Tien without the Neo Tri-Beam is star level. But in my personal opinion, going off everything we know at this point in time, and showing us what Krillin is capable of, going up against fighters that, you know, can make Android 18 struggle and kind of worry, and actually took one of these fighters out, you know, we can kind of scale Tien off that. Tien without the Neo Tri-Beam is relative to star level. He's in the star ranges, and with his Neo Tri-Beam, he is easily large star level. That's easily at this point with his Neo Tri-Beam. So the bottom line is, don't underestimate Tien. He's over light speed, and he is star level. He's in the star ranges with or without his Neo Tri-Beam, and he's dozens of times the speed of light. He has many techniques. He's a strategic genius when it comes to actually fighting in combat. He's strategic. He's a pure martial artist, and if you take into consideration all the years that he has been training with Chaozu in the mountains, wherever he's been, that makes sense that Tien is star level at this point. And he is obviously faster than light. He was light speed during combat during the Saiyan saga, as I mentioned, going off Yamcha and everything before that. Raditz, Piccolo, having relativistic to light speed feats. It makes sense. Now, if some of you think Tien is above large star level with the Neo Tri-Beam at this point, that's cool. He very well might be. I just didn't want to give too much of guessing at this point. I just kind of wanted to stay neutral and kind of just meet in the middle here. I'm not trying to lowball either, because he's definitely at the star levels at this point, whether it's with the Neo Tri-Beam or not. And I'm not trying to highball either. But if you think he's less, that's cool. I respect your opinion. If you think he's more, that's great. I respect your opinion. But my honest thought, opinion, from going off facts, feats, and through scaling, Tien is star level, and he's dozens of times faster than light with multiple techniques. So I hope you enjoyed this first episode of O'Keefe's power scaling video for Tien, and I'll be uploading the second one maybe in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks. Give me a chance to decide who I want to scale, find some info about, get the facts right, the feats, and let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with me on this? Do you think Tien actually is star level? Do you believe he's faster than light? Let me know what you think down below. But just don't underestimate Tien. He has shown impressive feats. Just don't underestimate him. And that being said, as always, have a great one. Corn O'Keefe out. Peace.